We're going to have Robert come up and do his internet marketing part of the seminar, which will be a few hours long. But before, I was reading my emails this morning, and I went back over all your statements that you made to good afternoon. We made back through all our statements that you made vis-a-vis the information that we asked you. And I was trying to put in perspective how we can make the most out of the last 2 days, today and tomorrow. And again, I was going back and forth between emails as I was listening to the Facebook story on Bloomberg and how everybody's getting sued, class action suits, etc. And then I came to Bruce Whipple's email to me. And normally his emails are 2 or 3 sentences maximum. But this one was a long one. It was about 6 or 7 paragraphs, which is highly unusual. In fact, I can't remember in 19 and a half years that I've known him that he's ever written 6 or 7 paragraphs, maybe in total to me. And so I quickly scanned through it because I don't want to be late in here. I quickly scanned through it, and then I said, no, I'm going to go back and read it. So I read it carefully, and he had looked at the YouTube of you guys. And he's a professional management by objectives, IBM trained manager, and I'm not. And he and I have been in, I don't know, 20 or 25 deals, a lot of deals. And normally when I send Whipple in, it's because when Whipple walks in the door to your establishment, it's because you're walking out the fucking door. So if I send Whipple to Romania, it's because one or all of you are going. Most likely all of you. But he does it very professionally. He would sit down and talk to Sip, the king of the gypsies. And he would sit down to all, and come back and he would do not a McKinsey report, but a fairly detailed report and what's wrong. And then at the bottom, and he would give me his assessment if it was able to be fixed. And he's right probably 99% of the time. 99. Only 99. And whenever he makes a decision to close a business down, the group always says, we're the 1%. We're the 1%, because, we prove Whipple wrong. And he's closed a few down, and he's turned over a few keys, metaphorically, to the bank for me, in years gone by. Most famously, Lucinda Burke's business. And actually, we tried to run it for almost a year, I think, afterwards. But when he was commenting, he commented about he's very hard on himself. He's not as hard on him as I'm hard on him, but he said, you made a nice reference to my role play with Basilio. So he went back to look at the role play. Now that's 2 years ago. Probably nobody in this room would go back and look at the role play to look at what he did right, what he did wrong, etc. And I had forgotten this because at the end of the day, it was kind of a stalemate between the two of them, and the banker and the guy looking for money. But he reminded me that Basilio had almost dealt him a knockout blow, because Basilio was slick as baby shit. He's a very good, very smart guy. But he said, because of my ability to think on my feet, I was able to overcome it and at least come out maybe with a draw. This role-playing, and he asked me to tell you this, can be an embarrassing event. And I'm not trying to embarrass you, Trey, but when you were doing the role-playing, your neck was red, your ears were red, your head was red, and you looked like you had just taken a shot of whatever makes you red in the face. That's why you got to practice. Because if your face fucking turns red in front of the banker or the insurance executive, he's going to not obviously think you're lying. Or you're so fucking inexperienced, why should they ever entertain giving you a fucking 5 pennies. When I tell you that you got to practice, because we've had a guy here, the guy that came here from Russia, he says, I read your book, I get all this shit. The only reason I'm here is because whenever I gave a presentation to the bank, they either said no or threw me out. Well, after seeing him giving the presentations, I know why they threw him out. I mean, and he went by himself, if I remember correctly, and he didn't, like some other people in this room, they picked what was easiest to do for them emotionally. It's not picking what's easiest for you to do emotionally, because that won't fucking work. It's doing the whole enchilada, the whole thing. Or sending somebody that will do the whole thing. And for those of you that are in small communities and don't practice outside your communities like we've already suggested, then you blow your wad, you blow your chance. You got nobody to talk to. And all the local bankers, when you walk down the street, are laughing. This is a system that has worked, not just for me, but for thousands and thousands and thousands of people in the last 20 years, since I've been teaching it. And Bruce says to wish you luck. He said that the YouTube is a good format to get the word out. And he says, but make sure to tell them that just looking at this at the YouTube isn't going to make them better presenters. The people you see on television reading the news, in Britain and Europe they call them presenters because they're really not reporters. They're just reading what's put in front of them. They've been doing that for years, and they've done it thousands and thousands and thousands of times. And so it's a big time commitment, it's a big emotional commitment. But then again, it gets back to how bad you want it. Do you just want to say, I want to be billionaire? Talk's fucking cheap. It takes money to buy whiskey, and even though I for hero worship, I try to dress like a gypsy today, except gypsies don't wear these. And I'm going to get some earrings and some tattoos, and then I can get the organ grinder. It's not like just bouncing a monkey on your knee with an organ grinder. So it's really serious. Now the material that Robert's going to go over, he just it took him some time to put it together because I know I've seen him working on it the last several weeks. Is based on his experience over many, many years. And he's going to tell you his story. It's quite impressive, and the sacrifices he made to get to where he is. And again, he's not selling any tapes, DVDs. He doesn't want to do any consulting. He probably doesn't want to fucking talk to you again. He won't say that because he's more of a gentleman than I am. But he's doing it as a favor to me. Okay? Any questions before we start? I was trying to find some pointed boots, shoes like you guys wear, but I don't have it. I could have worn my cowboy boots, my $4,000 or $5,000 cowboy boots, but hero worship. See? Okay, any questions? Okay.